Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Quick Tip Tuesday. And so today's quick tip is actually about social conversation, which I know is something that can be very difficult for a lot of our students. And if at any point you can't hear me during this, definitely give me a shout so that I know. Um, Last time we had some problems with that. So we have a lot of students who really can struggle with social conversation, being able to handle the social situation and think of the things to say. And a lot of times when we give them scripts, we get very scripted language back, and that's a good place to start. But we get to a point where we really want to see them move beyond the scripts. Sometimes our students do move beyond the scripts, and sometimes they struggle a little bit with that. So I want to talk about a quick way to give them some content to choose from to make the social situation go a little bit better. And this is actually something we used to use going around the school. So we had a walk that we had a student take with a peer around the classroom, stopping at specific places. And we identified those places as a place to provide more support. And so we created a set of index cards and trained the peer, and we trained the peer to carry them with them and show it to them. And when we first started, I have to tell you, I was a little skeptical that this was going to work, but it actually did. So here I've got one that is a set for at the lake. So if you're working with students over the summer and they are going to a lake, or if you live where I live, which is called Lakeland, we have lots of lakes, and we have a specific lake that has ducks and swans in it. So it's a pretty common place to stop and talk. And so it's a way, instead of giving exact scripts, it gives ideas about what I could talk about. So I can talk about what the ducks look like. I could talk about what the ducks are doing. I could talk about what I hear, what I see, where the ducks are. And so this is just a cue of, oh, here, now I can generate some language, some topics that I'm going to say to my peer. So it could be done at summer camp, it could be done for families at home, working with a sibling, where the peer knows that we stop and we wait a little bit, and then we cue them with the card. So it could be, I could talk about, you can also have things I could ask. Ask if they like swans. Ask if they like to do something, why they like to do something. What do they hear? What do they like? What do they see? So it's rather than a specific script, it's giving more of a content topic that they can generate a question from or a statement from. So it might be something like at school, maybe we're doing cooking. And so they could ask, what's your favorite food? How do you feel about cooking? What's your favorite part of cooking? How it tastes? So again, basic topics. And we could also I could talk about my favorite foods. I could talk about what we're doing. So talk about the actions that we're taking. I could talk about the ingredients. I could talk about the recipe. I could talk about how it tastes when we're finished. So it's just a way to give them topics of things they can generate language about. And we did this with a student. We had a fish tank that was one of our stops on our walk. And it was things like I could talk about the fish I see, and she would always go in and say, oh, I see a blue fish. I see a blue fish. I see a blue fish. And then one day she walked in and she said, the fish is in the house. And the fish was in the little submariner's house at the bottom of the fish tank. And she generated that on her own. So it's just a way to cue, to hopefully not be giving the whole thing that they're going to say, so they don't become as scripted, but they get a little bit more information about the topics, because sometimes generating those topics are hard. You could do at a concert. So if we go to a choir concert or even in choir, I can talk about what the music is, what I like best, what I see, what I hear, who is playing. I could ask, what is their favorite? What music do they like? How they like music, or why do they like that music? Who is their favorite? So we can ask those kinds of questions. So I might tell her she needs to make a statement and ask a question as part of the conversation. This is just a way to help her see what that might be. It could also be something as simple as meeting a friend. I could compliment them. I could ask how they are. I could ask what they like to do and what they did last night. So I'm not going to ask all these questions. I'm just going to pick one, and that's going to be my topic. So it's a good way to program language into their day, work on some social conversation with peers, but still give them some visual support. So that's today's quick tip. Happy Tuesday. I will be back next Tuesday. If you're in the US, have a great 4th of July. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Bye, guys.